Welcome, dear traders. Let's discuss red hot market analysis and a forecast by InstaForex experts. US stock markets and the benchmark indexes grew on a Wednesday because of the Bank of England's intervention in the stock market curbed borrowing costs and calmed down investors who were threatened by budget plans of a new British government. As the result, the Dow Jones and the S&P 500 rose following a six-day losing streak. The Nasdaq Composite closed with gains for the second day straight. The Dow Jones climbed more than 500 points, or 1.88%. The Nasdaq jumped 2.05%, and the S&P 500 rose to 3,710 points, or 1.97%. The pre-market today is so optimistic. The major stock indexes traded in the red in the New York pre-market. The S&P 500 is expected to trade in the corridor between 3,605 and 3,760 today. The Bank of England was a catalyst for the boost in the stock markets yesterday. The market felt relieved that the regulator bought government bonds worth £65 billion. And in this context, all 11 sectors included in the S&P 500 gained ground, with the energy companies taking the lead. Energy companies surged 4.6%, communication companies increased 3.2%. Apple stocks dropped 1.3% after Bloomberg reported that the company cancelled its plans on expanding the new iPhone 14 production this year because of muted demand. Today, stock markets are again overwhelmed by fears of a global recession due to aggressive monetary tightening. According to Refinitiv data stream, yields of many government bonds, which are virtually non-risky assets, if held before the maturity, are now higher than dividend yields of the S&P 500, which have been recently at 1.8%. Another headwind is the Len hurricane, which smashed into the Florida coast of the Mexican Gulf. Stocks of air carriers lost in value. Shares of high-tech giants such as Apple, Tesla, Microsoft, Amazon and Meta traded lower in the pre-market. Meanwhile, the currency market is trading on a roller coaster. The US dollar index plunged to 112.78 intraday and rebounded shortly after. Its intraday corridor is defined between 112.40 and 113.80. The US dollar tumbled over 1% yesterday because of the Bank of England's bond purchase. However, today trading instruments are following their previous dynamics. The US dollar index has grown 0.17%. The euro has gained 0.22% and the pound sterling has climbed more than 1%. The greenback is propped up by hawkish remarks of Fed's policymakers. This trading week, several Fed's officials signaled their regulators' commitment to aggressive tightening in order to curb inflation despite recession risks and turmoil in the stock markets. As for the economic calendar, market participants got to know the revised US GDP for the second quarter. The US economy shrank by 0.6% sequentially in the second quarter, in line with the second estimate. In theory, the US economy has entered into a technical recession following a 1.6% slump in the first quarter. Private inventories and the capital investments were mainly to blame for a decline in the second quarter. The US labor market sprang a surprise today. The number of first-time unemployment claims fell by 16,000 to 193,000 last week. It's the lowest reading since late April and was below the consensus of 215,000. This dynamic proves a healthy labor market and has given the US Fed a leverage to raise interest rates. The USD CAD pair went down to 1.3650 and the loonie recovered from the weakest level in more than 2 years. Oil prices rebounded from 9 months lows. Investors are regaining their risk-on mood. Still, optimism did not last for long, and today the USD CAD pair is again trading higher at 1.3714. The intraday corridor for the pair is seen between 1.3640 and 1.3760. Oil prices have spiked by 6% from the 9 months lows hit earlier this week on the back of unexpected contraction in the US crude inventories, and this factor provided the loonie with its support and shocked the greenback's strength. Fresh macroeconomic data from Canada proves the resilience of the Canadian economy. GDP edged up 0.1% in July at the same rate as in June. 11 of 20 individual sectors showed expansion. According to flash estimates, economic growth in Canada halted in August on months from July. The crypto market is trading under high volatility. Digital tokens are trading within narrow ranges. Bitcoin has shed 2.8% today and is now trading at 19,000. Popular altcoins are losing ground. Ethereum is 3.7% down. Solana, Ripple and Litecoin have also incurred modest losses. Bitcoin is expected to trade in the corridor between 18,200 and 20,000 today. Please be aware of a high volatility in financial markets and make prudent trading decisions. Keep close tabs on financial markets on InstaForex TV channel and see you tomorrow.